Good morning. It's Sunday, June 16th, and it's not a good morning in one part of the world. And I am talking about the Middle East, and I am talking about Israel. The Israelis on Saturday described fear and chaos and confusion because several Iranian missiles slammed into houses and apartments in central Israel overnight, causing widespread destruction and killing 3 people. The warning sirens sent millions of people rushing for safe rooms and bomb shelters as Iran fired several waves of missiles in response to the Israeli strikes on its military leadership and its nuclear program. So while the IDF said most were intercepted, there were several missiles that got through, and they were apparently armed with large explosive warheads and slammed into homes in Tel Aviv and Ramat Gan and Rishon LeZion. We shut the door and started watching the news through the computer, and suddenly there was a boom so loud that the whole building teetered. That's what Tali Harash said, a resident of Tel Aviv high-rise that was hit Friday night. That's what he told News Network. A few minutes later, we opened the door because the smoke detector went off, he said, and the entire living room was filled with smoke, and we went back to the safe room. So that family remained in the safe room for some 2 hours before rescuers managed to reach them. And rescuers, including hundreds of IDF Home Front Command soldiers and firefighters and police officers and medics and engineers and sniffer dogs, remained at the site for hours, ensuring that no one was trapped in the building. And a Colonel, Michael David, who heads the Home Front's Tel Aviv command, told Niet that his forces were trained to handle such situations, and they will receive reinforcements. But he said this is an event of magnitude we haven't seen in the past. So this is a war. No matter what they want to say about it, it is a war. And it is a war that will find Israel in the middle of a region of the world where they are greatly outnumbered, surrounded on all 4 sides by enemies. So the people who live in the building need to know if anyone is missing or trapped. And that is a terrible task that can take hours, especially when we're talking about very high-rise buildings with many hundreds of tenants. But they said, we won't leave until we make sure that we didn't leave any resident behind. So this barrage impacted several areas of Tel Aviv and nearby Ramat Gan. A total of 63 people were injured, including a woman who was critically hurt and later died of her wounds. And then there was another barrage in the early hours of yesterday in Rishon LeZion near Tel Aviv. A man identified as Yisrael Alani and another woman were killed, and at least 20 more people were wounded, and a 3-month-old baby was rescued from the rubble. So this is a war. Don't let anybody kid you, and it is not going to stop soon, I can tell you that, because there's hatred in the world, and people were trapped in their homes, and there was fire on the outside, and many are trying to manage the incident and avoid complete destruction. But how can you do that? How do you do that? Kids were sleeping, and they were awakened by the noise. And so there's turmoil in the Middle East, and Israel is in the middle of it, deadly in the middle of it. The Iranian strikes began less than a day after Israel first targeted the Islamic Republic's nuclear facilities, missiles and factories and military leadership, killing dozens and wounding hundreds. The Israeli attacks in Iran are ongoing. So Israel has to now watch its ass because they are in the middle of a war, a real live war. These attacks on Iran will not go unanswered. And if anybody thought they would go unanswered, they made a big mistake. Now, Israel has sought to prevent Iran from enriching uranium, which is necessary to produce nuclear arms. Iran's leaders, who are sworn to destroy Israel, publicly reject nuclear arms, but enrich uranium to a rate of 60%, far beyond that what is necessary for civilian use, a short step away from weapons grade. So Israel has to fear all of this, surrounded by enemy. And if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, how sure will Israel be that they are safe? Not sure at all. So this tiny country is in a desperate situation right now. And I don't know how they can survive being surrounded by so many enemies. So we will have to watch this very, very closely, because millions of people's lives are at stake here. And I leave you with those sad facts this morning. A terrible, terrible situation in the Middle East. I can't wish you a great day today. I'm very unhappy with this situation. Very sad. So I'll just say goodbye.